Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the LOCUS Golden Hour podcast. My name is Kristina.
And I'm Lina.
So this podcast is about sharing stories, advice, tips, and all things surrounding university and student life. Today, we'll be chatting about applying to university, as many high school students are preparing right now to apply.
Awesome. Thanks, Christina, for the awesome intro. We always start off our podcast with some fun icebreaker questions to get to know each other a bit better. So today we have some would you rather questions. So we will be doing this rapid fire, back and forth. But Christina, would you rather be 10 years older or 4 years younger right now?
To be honest, I want to be 10 years older because I think in 10 years, I'll probably, hopefully, be financially stable. I'll have my own place, maybe a cat. I really want a cat. So, like, 10 years from now, I'll be 30.
Uh,
Boy. And just I'll be financially stable. Because if I went 4 years ago, like if I chose 4 years younger, like I'd have to do parts of high school again.
oh no,
You
maybe
know?
16. Yeah.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know what we were doing at the age of 16, but I don't think it was that fun.
Yeah. No thanks. I don't want to be 16 again.
I would choose the same thing. I think hopefully like that wisdom or like that experience too, I feel like would be helpful. And like the big 3-0, I guess that'd be, I guess, fun.
30, flirty, and thriving.
Alrighty, next question. Would you rather be a bird or a horse?
Oh, a bird. A bird.
And why?
Because I think the obvious reason you can fly, but also like I used to watch like a lot of National Geographic things with my dad, and then the the birds, like the big birds, like the hawks and stuff,
Yeah.
just like in danger, fly away. How's the things on the ground gonna reach you?
Yeah. What kind of bird would you want to be?
Probably like a golden hawk, or
Good one.
just like a hawk, one of those big birds with the really wide wingspans.
Yeah, I choose a bird too. It's really funny though, because when I think of birds, I would really want to be a penguin, but they can't fly. So I don't really know what's going on there, but I would probably choose a bird.
I feel like
Alrighty.
penguins have
Oh,
a lot of fun though.
they do. They go penguin sledding. I don't know. They do their own
Mhm.
thing. So yeah. Moving on to our next and last question. Would you rather have a pet dinosaur or a pet dragon?
I think a pet dragon. I mean, dragons are really cool. Dragons eventually will be able to fly. You just have to like make sure you can like tame them, you know?
I think dragons are cool. They could breathe fire. They're like, pterodactyls. They're like a better version, no?
Yes, yes, they can breathe
Yeah.
fire.
Alrighty. Well, those are all of our would you rather questions. Hopefully they were a bit fun and feel free to answer them through our Spotify question of the day as well. In terms of today's topic, so Christina, right now a lot of students are applying to university, and maybe there's a potential future Golden Hawk listening to this podcast. Let's just talk about our own experience and how we started researching and applying. So what do you think, like your first step, the first thing you did in terms of it was grade 11, it's grade 12, what did you start doing at that time?
The first thing I did was like, I guess when you choose courses in high school, you're trying to figure out what you might want to do. So I took a lot of history courses because I liked history. So I was like, if I have a career in this, I know I'm going to like it. I also took a lot of music courses because I knew that's what I liked. Um, but then I didn't actually know what I wanted to do until I went to the university fair in September of grade 12. And that's when I actually found Laurier because I was thinking of like Western and like Guelph and stuff because my sister went to Western. So I was kind of interested in those already because of that. But when I went to the university fair and I talked to some people from Laurier, what attracted me was actually the community music program, which is on the
Oh,
Waterloo campus.
yeah.
So that's what got me looking at Laurier, like mostly. I didn't end up doing that. I ended up doing health administration, which I didn't take like science courses in high school. So like yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what programs, what school until I went to the university fair. But when I saw
Mhm.
Laurier and I talked to people there, that's when I like started planning like the tour to go see the campus and stuff like that. And then I started looking at the website more, and just like surfing different websites helped a lot, because what also attracted me to Laurier was how easy the website is to navigate.
Yeah.
Because some other schools that had like similar programs I was kind of interested in, but like I just couldn't figure out how to use the website, like what to find what I needed or stuff. But Laurier was very simple. So I was like, oh, this is nice. I like that I know what's happening.
Yeah, I think it's so funny when like a lot of these universities, like there's just a lot of information, so I don't blame them. But sometimes they can be hard to navigate. And even Laurier's website is one of the easier ones. It's still like there's just so much information. So when you're searching up and for it's like certain things, it can be overwhelming. I feel like when I was searching things, like I just felt overwhelmed looking at it. And that's why I kind of like, I don't know, I kind of wanted to like not look at it. I was like, I need to research, but like this is overwhelming. Maybe I just like, won't look at it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think my experience was kind of similar. I just knew what I didn't want to do, which is also good, but it was just hard for me because I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And I was just let me try some stuff. So I knew I didn't want to do something like sciencey. So well actually it's funny, I took bio and chem in grade 11. I did
Oh,
not take physics, but I did take bio and chem just so I was like, maybe I'll do something, but I didn't. And then I took a business course and ended up liking it. I took economics and accounting, and then I did some more business courses in grade 12. Um, Very funny story. I actually applied for a bunch of accounting programs, like I would say like more than 50%. And I obviously figured out I really didn't want to do accounting. And Laurier was my top choice. I'm in business administration, by the way, and it's a more general business course, but that was my top choice. And I'm very glad I did get in, because if I didn't, perhaps I'd be in an accounting program. Probably miserable. I'd probably end up changing my degree, to be honest, because I had to take accounting in my first year and my second year in this program, and I still obviously I just did it because I had to, and it wasn't terrible. But if I was an accounting major, that would be a different story. So either way, I think like the application process, going to the university fair, I think was really helpful. I think the person I talked to at like Laurier, who was the representative, was like so nice. Like I don't know, I felt like really good about it. Like just talking to them, I just was like, I want to know more about the school. I think that's kind of what led me to think about Laurier for sure.
I felt the same way too, because I was talking to people at the different booths, but then the person at Laurier, I don't know, it just stuck out. It was like, people say like when you know. I kind of just like had a feeling.
Mm,
Yeah. And
yeah.
as for how you said like that you almost went into accounting, I almost went into law, because I took a lot of law in high school too.
Mhm.
So I actually applied to two programs at Laurier, health administration, which I'm in now, and law and society. And then I also applied to Waterloo for legal studies.
Wow.
But then I realized, because I was trying to do like a minor in law and society, I realized I just did not like it. So I was like, oh, thank goodness I picked health administration.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really funny. And like, I mean, even last episode, we talked to Renata, she was interested in engineering and then went into music, right? So like, I think a big thing, like, it's okay to change even last minute. Say you have like a backup thing, or you even apply to several programs. I feel like some people apply to like a variety of programs and it's like all over the place, but that's okay. And even once you get to university, you should know that you can change your major, and like even in the first week, say you like hate it, you can change at any point, even like 2 years, 3 years in. Just keep that in mind. But this is all about applications. So, Christina, did you have any like supplemental or like extra essays you had to write, like those extra things after you sent that application in?
I honestly didn't.
Oh, okay.
I kind of looked into some scholarships, but I got like an entrance scholarship because of my grades in high school, and I was like, I'm good with that. So
Hmm.
I didn't really do much essays, but I know that like when I was looking into community music, there was like an audition, like a
Yeah.
portfolio kind of thing. So depending on the program, there's also like a lot of different things they have to do in that process.
Yeah, for me, like applying for certain places, like for example, like Waterloo Accounting, I had to do this like it wasn't like a test video thing, but it was like almost like a video interview. Like
Mm.
they asked a question and you had to like speak to the camera and it was like an interview essentially and you got like 30 seconds or a minute to talk. So I was like, I don't know how would you prepare for that? But honestly, like some things you can prepare, I guess, like the basic, I guess, interview questions and other things is like I don't know, like how much can you prepare for that? You know, I honestly I would tell you the questions if I remembered, but I seriously don't remember them. But I'd say like they weren't like next level or anything. I think I know like for example, my friends in engineering, they had to do more technical questions. So you can think of like questions you'd be asked if you were trying to become an engineer, I guess, or like
Oof.
it's like more like math questions, for example. But for me, it was like pretty basic in terms of the supplementary applications. But yeah, I didn't, thank goodness I did not have to write any essays because that would be a bit of a struggle.
Mhm. Yeah. So did you end up touring any campuses when you applied or before you applied?
It's really funny. I did not tour a single campus.
Nothing.
Like I wanted to, but I just never had the time. Like my schedule just never lined up with the tour dates. Like I couldn't get a ride to Waterloo and I wasn't able to bus, like whatever. Like I couldn't get anywhere. So all the schools, like I applied to some in Toronto. I applied to like Brock, Guelph. Like I applied to quite a few schools, but like I didn't tour anything. And my first time on the Laurier campus was September 1st, my first day. I
Wow.
moved in. And thank goodness I like the campus because I think it'd be really funny if I got there and I was like, I hate this place, like that would be terrible. But I just knew I really liked the program. I liked that it was a co-op program. That was a big thing for me. I knew Laurier was a good school in terms of like community and social aspects. So good. Thank goodness I end up liking Laurier because okay, whoever's listening, don't be me. Make sure you do your research, go on the tour if you can. Um, there's a lot of virtual tours as well now just because of COVID. So like that's always an option. I know that was an option for me, but yeah, I feel like I just went on a whim. I was like, I choose you. And then thank goodness I ended up liking it. But Christina, did you end up going on a tour?
I did, but Laurier Brantford was the only place I toured. Um,
Oh.
like I didn't even look in other places or did virtual tours, and I mostly just watched like videos online, like my first day at Laurier Brantford or
Ah.
residence life at Laurier Brantford. I watched all the YouTube videos like that. But yeah, like Laurier was the only school I toured, and my sister always told me, my sister's 2 years older than me, so she always told me like when you tour the campus, you just get a feeling and you know that it's the place that you want to go to, or you get the feeling it's a place you don't want to go to.
Mhm.
So I toured Laura Brantford on like a Saturday in November, and it was kind of like a ghost town because no students were out because it was the weekend, and then
Oh.
Brantford's kind of quiet. But for some reason, I was like, I kind of like it here. And I remember buying a Laurier lanyard on my tour before I had even got accepted.
No
Because
way.
I was like, I think this is where I want to go. Yeah.
Wow, that's like my friend. I'm pretty sure he bought like 3 Waterloo sweaters and he didn't get accepted yet. And I was like, okay, but he did get accepted and
Okay.
he did go to his dream program and his dream school. So good for him. But like that's a bit risky for me.
Sweaters. Yeah. That's why I only went for the lanyard.
Yeah, the bookstore is always a nice place to go to if you want some merch. Once you're accepted, for sure. If you want to
Mhm.
get merch, you can definitely go there. But I'm glad you ended up choosing Laurier and you got accepted as well. In terms of like, I know like, how was your waiting process? Like, did you like be honest, like did you like check your acceptances a lot? Were you like chilling? You're like, ah, I don't need to look at it all the time.
To be honest, I got pretty lucky because I think I was in the first wave of early acceptances because my
Mhm.
program didn't require like much, just like, like the English average, your um overall grades average, like nothing extra that I need to do. So I got accepted early December. So
Wow.
it
What?
was,
No,
yeah,
you're kidding.
it was
That's
really early.
amazing.
Yeah, but then I didn't like accept that acceptance until later when I waited for the other ones. But like
Wow.
I got into my program pretty early. Like I remember just like sitting like in the hallway after school and I got an email notification saying like welcome future Golden Hawk. And I was like, huh? Like it's before, it's not even like winter break yet.
Yeah. Oh
But
my
yeah, I got pretty
goodness.
lucky with that. I don't know, because my program didn't require that much.
That's so amazing. I guess you didn't have to wait that oh, well, you had to wait for your other ones, but that's really nice. You got like Lori or first, or like soon.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know like for me, like I had to wait a bit more. Like I don't remember when my first one was. I did get a few like early acceptance like offers. Also, early acceptance like some schools do it, some schools don't. So keep that in
Mhm.
mind. Like if you're waiting and you're like, oh my gosh, it's June, they haven't sent me anything or whatever the last day is, like don't worry too much because some schools don't actually do that. A lot of my friends, and it depends on your program, right? Like a lot of my friends did not get anything until like a lot later. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I remember I got a few and then for Laurier, I was like okay, Laurier's was my top choice. So I was like sitting in lunch. I like remember this so clearly. And I had like my phone just like sitting there and I got the notification. And I was with my friends. So I was like, oh my gosh. And I like opened it. And then I literally like I like jumped up and I was like, guys, I got accepted. And then, like I literally was like hugging them. Like I was like so happy because like I was just like obviously really happy to get accepted. But yeah, I definitely did do some checking every once in a while. I don't like definitely don't obsess over it. Check it like I don't know, once a week, whatever. Just to keep updated. But yeah, like I know waiting can be a struggle, but try to focus on school and like finishing the year, I'd say. But yeah, the waiting part I guess is hopefully the easier part, right? You just kind of have to wait to hear back. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And some people don't know until much later because the like you might be on the waiting list because they're waiting for other people to accept the offer. And if they don't, then they keep going. So
Yeah.
it takes time, but it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of like just university in general, I think like another thing to keep in mind, like say you're like right out of university or not university, you're right out of high school, like it's okay. I know a lot of my friends took gap years. Maybe you may want to take a few years and come back. Like a lot of mature students want to come back for school or even go to college instead of university. I think just remembering that like your career doesn't have to be linear and that includes like post-secondary education.
Mhm. Like I think I don't know about you, but in my family there was kind of like a stigma around gap years. Like if you take a gap year, you're never gonna want to go back to school, blah blah blah. That's what my
Hmm.
parents always told me, so I wasn't allowed to take a gap year.
Yeah.
Um, but I think there's no shame in taking a gap year at all, especially like if you need money to pay for school and that's the 1 year you can just focus on working. I
Hmm.
think it can be a really good idea. Or if you're not sure what you want to do in university, you don't really want to waste time, doing a program you don't really like when you could take more time to think about it. Also
Yeah.
saves money too. Like I have a friend that took a gap year because she wasn't exactly sure what she wanted to do. So she worked, saved up, and she still applied like when in grade 12 around when we all did, and she got an acceptance, but she deferred it because she just wanted to
Yeah.
like sit on it for a little bit more. She ended up going to that school now, so yeah, but she said that the timing was exactly how it like she wanted it to be and it worked for her.
Yeah, exactly. I think same with my family. Like I remember just bringing up the topic, hey, like mom, dad, can I take gap year? They're like, no. And well, I guess it worked out for me, but it might not work out for everyone. Like it could have gone the other way where like that first year was not ideal and like it would have been better to take a gap year. I guess it worked out, but again, like there's nothing wrong with taking a gap year. Even like if you want to go to college for like just a degree, like a diploma, and then go back for your bachelor's, whatever it may be. I know like my brother, he did a degree program, like a diploma, and then he's now doing his undergrad. So like whatever you prefer, whatever you need to do, like just remember that it's okay to take your own path. Like
Mhm.
there is no right way to do university or life. So keep
Mhm.
that in mind.
There's no formula. And like, I think it's also important to remember that you can always revisit school later in life. Like the program I'm in right now is like mostly like mature students. So like they've already had their career for like 10 years. Some of them have had their masters, but they're coming back to this program now just to learn more.
Yeah.
So if you discover that there's like another field or another area of study that you want to look into, you can always do that later too. You don't have to like just take one degree and then be done with. You can always
Yeah.
keep going back to school.
Yeah. And I think that also applies, like, say, like after your undergrad, if you like if you want to go back for your master's or your PhD, like those are always options after you're working. So yeah, just remember that. And with that being said, Christina, I think it's our end of our little episode here. We always end off with our words of wisdom, our wrap-up session. Christina, what is like one thing we want our listeners, our viewers to keep with them after listening to this episode?
I think hmm, what I'd say is trust your gut, where you feel like
Mm.
you should go, what you feel like you should do. Like sometimes subconsciously, like your mind or your gut knows better than you think you do. So trust your gut in whatever.
I love that. We love trusting our gut. We should trust our gut always. I think I would say it's okay to not know or to be indecisive, but also be confident in your decision, whatever you make. Um, it's okay to go back and forth or just like change directions, whatever
Mhm.
it may be, it's okay to change directions.
I like that.
Awesome. And with that being said, that is our end of our podcast. Make sure you give it a follow on wherever you listen to, subscribe, leave us a good review or any review. You can also follow us on our Instagram at Locus Laurier to stay up to date with all of our events and podcast episodes. And we'll see you next time in our next episode. Until then, stay golden, everyone. Bye.
Bye.